So the first thing I would say is the exercise where you can like feel your hips, and then you practice transferring from one weight to the other. And I send the hips so that she can really feel which foot I'm on, and then I kind of just practice that. The same with the partner. So make sure that you're slowly shifting from side to side first, so that you can feel where your weight is. Generally, when you're dancing, try to have your weight on one foot or the other, not in two places at once, because that's going to be more like standing, right? Not like moving. When we're walking, we're switching from one foot to the other. So a couple things that we worked on with the basics is to go into an open dance position. I do a cuddle turn, because doing a waist slide gets me onto the wrong hand, right? So you can leave that, but that gets me to the wrong hand. So I'm always going to do a basic cuddle turn to open. We go from open to close, closed to open. And what I'm talking about is our shoulders, right? So right now we're kind of square, that's closed, right? Versus almost parallel, which is open. And then we talked about kind of pulling each other to get each other to pass versus just walking and using the rotation. Now to get back out of this position, I'm going to trace my hand down her arm. Her arm is presented to me in a cuddle turn in a way that it is not in a waist slide. I kind of have to reach for the waist slide, so I try not to do that. A couple moves that we worked on, or that we reviewed, was the tabletop. I never obligate my follower to do the tabletop, so if you're naturally getting her into this position, instead of sending her into the tabletop, I would just continue her turn, loop, and then send her into a dip, and then send her out. That's a good way to get out of that. Another thing from that same position is I can do the tunnel.
Sorry.
I'm not tall enough to go right over your head. And then I do, if I can have that hand still, the double rotation under the arm. That's okay, we kind of lost each other there, but you know that one. And then with the pretzel, or any of my turns, just make sure that the hand comes down in between turns, so that she knows. This one, it has to stay up, because she's going under two consecutively, and then it comes down. Comes up, comes down, comes up, comes down. Just to let my follower know who's turning when, and when a turn is finished. Same thing, so I noticed at the beginning, you tried to do the windows, and you kind of did it like this. You can see our momentum was kind of slow there. Whereas if I do the double turn up, drop the arms, keep it going, try it again, try to just go with the momentum. I get her there a lot faster and smooth, yeah. With your arms, just generally try to keep them attached to your back. So sometimes when I'm kind of moving your arm, you're kind of delayed, like behind it.
Okay.
So there, if you're engaged in the back, and you'll keep turning with your arms, so you can see how much smoother that was.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of generally, I want to make sure my arms are relaxed, but attached to my back, so that my body is responding quickly with my movement. And that's the same for you. One thing that you can just work on is, instead of keeping your arms tight, that's going to force you to go fast, give yourself the processing time of extending the arms. Yeah? Now, if you still want to go fast, you need to move your body more. So notice that I'm not just having her move, but I'm actually traveling. So sometimes you get into the tendency of just kind of like, she's turning, and you kind of pull her past you, you pull her past you. Does that make sense? Versus you moving around, that's gonna help kind of make the dance more unified and like together, because you're both moving the same. Yeah, I don't know if I covered everything, but is that all right?